What is up, residents of the Meister clan? This is the man, the myth, the legend, the clan head himself, Six Meister, coming at y'all with a brand spanking new what if. And yes, I know I'm talking rather fast, but that's kind of the point, because this is only going to be a 15-minute series. So, this is going to be what if Orochimaru wanted the Nine Tails instead. So he wants to abuse the Nine Tails power along with a curse mark. So he wants Naruto's body instead of Sasuke's. So what he would do is he would form a special curse mark called the Nine Tails curse mark. Instead of the Heaven curse mark like he did for Sasuke, this curse mark's second stage has 9 tails and claw-like features on hands and feet, so that he's more of an animal-esque type vibe, like the Yamanakas in a sense, because that's where most of his research on this specific curse mark came from because of the feline slash canine nature of foxes. So, what essentially happens is in the Forest of Death, this is still where it would start. Sasuke would get swallowed by the giant snake, and Orochimaru would like beat Naruto and Sakura near to a pulp. Yes, to near a fucking pulp. So, what then happens is Naruto would go into a rage because Sasuke is dead and Sakura is gravely injured, and thus actually opening his one-tailed cloak and attacking Orochimaru like that. Orochimaru would see that his body can already handle one tail, so it might even be able to go more. And he realizes that Naruto's curse mark might even be able to handle up to the 5th or 6th tail cloak. So he then plants it on Naruto first chance he gets, and unlike in fanfics or other what ifs, the curse mark will not burn away. Instead, it would fester and actually grow. So it would still stay a curse mark. And Naruto would essentially, just as Sasuke casts a fire style jutsu to get out of the snake, he would pass out, and Sasuke would see this, trying to rush Orochimaru, but Orochimaru would just easily go away, using some jutsu to get out of the fucking way. And now we skip to when they encounter the sound gaining. So Sakura is sleeping because she got pretty badly beat. Naruto is unconscious, and Sasuke is watching them. So the sound gaining show up. Sakura wakes up. Her and Sasuke somewhat beat up the sound gaining, but once they start actually trying, Sasuke and Sakura are at a disadvantage. Then all of a sudden, Lee shows up. Yes, the infamous Rock Lee. He helps them fight them off and thus get a scroll to go to the tower. So after Lee and his team departed and went to the tower, Sasuke woke up Naruto to tell him that they got a scroll and they should go. But before they went, Naruto convinces Sasuke and Sakura not to tell anyone about the mark on his neck, and they agreed, similar to how Sakura agreed in canon not to tell about Sasuke. So they get to the tower, and it's still irrelevant because it's mostly canon. So we're gonna skip to the fight with Kiba. Naruto is gonna do basically what he did in canon because he doesn't really have any new techniques. But nearing the end of the fight, just after Kiba gets knocked the hell out, Naruto's curse mark starts festering. Yes, the curse mark actually comes out. Kakashi sees this and goes on about fucking the same shit he went on with Sasuke, that you should tell your Jonin instructor everything, blah blah blah. You're an important ninja, blah blah blah, because I don't know why Naruto does shit like that, but whatever. So he gets it sealed for the second round, and when Naruto would go to learn the summoning jutsu with Jiraiya would see the mark on his neck. Sasuke would still be taken by Kakashi, so that would still happen, but Sasuke would not have the curse mark. And Jiraiya sees the mark and decides to still teach Naruto the summoning jutsu, which actually happens. He learns the summoning jutsu in the same amount of time he would in canon. So he basically has 3 weeks that he can do whatever the hell he wants. And Jiraiya decides to teach him some basic techniques. He knows about what the curse mark is, and that Orochimaru probably plans on taking over Naruto's body. So he thinks the least he can do is teach Naruto some things while he still can. So he teaches him that weird thing he does with his hair to basically have his hair surround him and become as hard as iron, and can also shoot it out like Senbon. So Naruto at least has one good technique. And Jiraiya somewhat works on his taijutsu and chakra control, even teaching him that you can enhance punches and your overall speed using chakra itself. During the last week, after Jiraiya had went over all these basic things, he decides to leave Naruto off with one last thing. He cannot exactly teach Naruto the Flying Raijin, but the closest thing to the Flying Raijin would be the body flicker. So yes, in the next week, he basically teaches Naruto the body flicker, and at the end of that week, he actually tells him about the shadow clone trick and that he did not want him to use it because that would be a shortcut, and he doesn't want a student of his using any shortcuts. So Naruto does, for future reference, know about the shadow clone technique. So what happens is when he faces Neji, he does not actually do anything else like he mostly does canon. Like he would still use the iron hair technique and like shoot them out like Senbon, just having Neji basically reveal early his palm rotation, and Naruto would still find the same creative way to knock him out. So that fight wasn't much different, and Naruto didn't want to reveal any other skills just in case, because he didn't want to show any other skills because he would probably face off against Sasuke in the finals, which he wanted to show off the body flicker because it is an immense speed upgrade. Not belonging to Naruto, Sasuke already knows this technique, as him and Kakashi pop into the room when it's his battle, and Naruto basically cusses at himself, thinking that how it's unfair that Sasuke gets the same techniques as him, but he's gonna prove that his is faster. And in the back of Naruto's mind, he is basically thinking that he has to get strongest and be the strongest to protect his friends so that what happened in the forest doesn't happen again. But he keeps that in the back of his mind and not constantly thinking about it. So most goes to canon. Naruto still summons Gamabunta to defeat Gaara. Gaara still gets Talk no Jutsu'd. Naruto and Jiraiya go to get Tsunade. All that stuff happens basically as canon, but Sasuke once again doesn't have the curse mark, so when he attacks Itachi, the curse mark would infest her. And when Naruto's actually back with Tsunade and all that, the Sound Four actually attack him instead of Sasuke. They tell him that if he wants power, he should go with Lord Orochimaru, and because Orochimaru told them about how his personality is because he wants to protect his friends, blah blah blah, because he probably would have said something in the Forest of Death. So they would be like, if you really want to protect your friends from people like us, let Lord Orochimaru do to you what he did to us. Then they would go like second stage curse mark, and Naruto would basically be amazed. So he decides to leave, and Sakura actually sees him leaving and confronts him about it. But Naruto knows that he can't lie to Sakura, so he just knocks her out and leaves. So by the next day, when they find Sakura, just like they would have with Sasuke, the group is still formed, but instead of Naruto, it is Sasuke going after Naruto, not Naruto going after Sasuke. At this point, Naruto's already in the barrel, and it would probably happen mostly to canon, but except for Sasuke, it would be except for Naruto, it would be Sasuke doing everything Naruto would do. Because this is a controversial or a really not a big change in subject, we're gonna skip to when Sasuke would face off against Kimimaru. Sasuke would try and talk no jutsu Naruto, and Naruto would just run away without saying anything, and then Sasuke and Kimimaru would start a fight, but Lee intercepts it so that Sasuke can go after Naruto. Sasuke starts chasing after Naruto and even tries using the body flicker to catch up to Naruto, but when Naruto sees this coming, he also uses the body flicker to get further away. And yes, he is in the second stage of the curse mark right now, so he has 9 orange tails flowing behind him. So they eventually get to the Valley of the End, and the fight goes similar to canon, but Sasuke is only keeping up because of his Sharingan, and because of him facing off against Naruto, he eventually unlocks his 3 Tomoe because he feels betrayed that his best friend, even though he wouldn't admit it, is trying to kill him. Naruto isn't actually trying to kill him, but he sure as hell is making it seem like it. So Naruto doesn't do much, he just beats the living hell out of Sasuke, and when it's time for the final blow. Sasuke starts talking to no jutsuing Naruto about how him of all people should not be going down a dark path, and blah blah blah. Naruto knocks out Sasuke because the Chidori has nothing to curse mark amped Rasengan without the Chidori being amped at least by something like the Vermilion power or anything similar. So, what essentially happens is Naruto goes to Orochimaru's lair, and I'm gonna leave it off there. Yes, this has only been 10 minutes, but I kind of just wanna leave y'all with a cliffhanger, and I'ma basically go through all his training in the next arc, and then we can start or the next part. And on part 3 we will actually be starting Naruto Shippuden. So if you enjoyed, please hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, and even join our Discord in the description. This has been the boy 6. Peace out.